I started this whole online course thing since 2019, and mind you, there are plenty of things that I regret as an online course creator that I don't want you to make. And so in this video, we're going to be talking about the 10 things that I should have known when I started my online course. And I hope this is going to be a good lesson for you. Hey there, my name is Demi. I make videos about videos, freelancing, and digital marketing. And today, I'm going to be talking about my experience as an online coach in the past 4 years and the things that I have regretted daily. If not daily, maybe monthly. But I hope that you do not make the same mistakes. With the first one being something that I regret greatly and something that I wish I did not do. Then that's the reason why this is number one, and that is offering lifetime access. So although in that very sense, you are giving your students a really good experience, like, hey, we're going to get lifetime access. It's a really good deal to get this very course at a certain amount and that we can just open it anytime, any day. But sometimes there are plenty of things that you wouldn't be able to measure if you are doing it this way. When you're offering lifetime access, you don't know if your students have already graduated, they have finished the course. You wouldn't be able to know if they're even motivated to finishing the whole thing. You wouldn't be able to measure your student success because plenty of them wouldn't be able to finish the course because you have given them lifetime access. And so they're thinking, oh my God, I have the whole lifetime for this thing. And so procrastination is going to open the windows and doors and everything else in their lives. So that is like a huge no-no. And at the same time, if you are running ads and as a business person, you should be measuring your metrics. One of the things that you need to be measuring is the customer acquisition cost and your CPA, or your cost per action. You need to know how many people signs up, how many graduates in your program. The probability of things are just endless when you measure things, and you cannot scale what you do not measure. And so if you offer lifetime access, you will have gaps of data that you wouldn't be able to fill in. And that is my current problem. Because I have offered lifetime access in one of my main huge courses where I had 5,300 students, and that's all that I can measure, the number of students. I wouldn't be able to measure the probability of how many could be succeeding in a certain time, in a certain time period, because then I offered lifetime access. So it's a really, really huge mistake. But what I did earn from that is like a large group of people that are just loyal with my programs. And so if I am to create programs again and again and again, they already trust me in that sense. They already know, like, and trust me. And so it is more often than not a no-brainer for them to buy. So that's what I got. But you are always on the losing end of things. Another thing that you have to consider when you're offering lifetime access is that your monthly dues are actually monthly. Apparently, they charge your credit card monthly, and you have to pay for your team monthly. Business expenses that you need to pay, they are paid on a monthly basis. And so if you gave someone who comes into your program once in a lifetime, well, dearie, you have to collect more leads and more buyers in order to make sure that you are able to pay the monthly fees that you have gathered and the cost of making business. So that is also one of the huge problems that I had. And that is the reason why I was absent the whole 6 months here on YouTube, because what was I doing? Just recalibrating my systems, knowing what to do next, planning about my next customer journey, so on and so forth, because I have made these mistakes in the past. And so you don't have to. The second thing, student motivation, you wouldn't be able to measure, and at the same time, you can't keep them motivated because, like what I said a few minutes ago, when you're giving someone lifetime access and they have already programmed their heads that, I just have this forever. So I'm just going to log in whenever I can. And sometimes if they don't put that on schedule, they really are just going to forget it. So what I've done in order to put a band-aid solution to things is that we send inactivity emails every 30, 60, and 90 days. And that is why every time we send that email, people log in, they come back, and they are being reminded that they actually paid for this thing and they shouldn't be just letting it all go to waste. Okay? Third thing that I should have known when I started creating the online course is that I shouldn't put plenty of videos and information in it just so it would become more valuable. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I've realized until I created my second course, because my second course, the School for Online Coaches, which is a hybrid of a mentorship program in an online course, is so amazing that there is just 5 modules to it with 5 videos, but it's cracking. Like, people have always told me how, oh my God, I just watched 2 videos and it's already so valuable. And the value of an online course is not being measured by the quantity of the videos that you put in it, or the quantity of the content that you put in it, but the value or the actionable items, the step-by-step plans that you have put in your online course to make other people's lives better. And that's where the value is being measured. And so I thought back in the days, it was 2019. I was like, how many years old? I don't even know, like in my early 20s, and like just putting all a bunch of things in there. And I didn't even know what I was doing. If you're going to make an online course nowadays, don't try to fill up the online course with plenty of videos and worksheets and whatsoever, because it's not really going to work like that. People don't like an overloaded information. They want actionable steps. They want actionable items that can help them win the game, like right now, or at the very latest tomorrow. So as you have to make sure that you are giving actionable items, which we're going to also be talking about in the next few bullet points of this whole video, and that you also have to make sure that if the quote-unquote actionable items that you have presented to them is a little bit hard for them, you have to backtrack and make it simpler for them so that you can guide them every step of the way. They're not going to get overwhelmed. You can't just give them all theory, right? So you have to get them into the step-by-step process of how you probably have done things in the past, or how things should be done as what you have promised in your online course in the first place. Fourth one, a sense of community is important. Something that you have to consider is not only to sell an online course, but to make sure that there is a community behind that online course where people can gather. So you can do either a Facebook group community, a group chat, a group coaching call, and I've proven and tested group coaching calls with breakout room sessions are awesome. Like, that is how we were able to solidify relationships in my online course, TSOC, or the School for Online Coaches. Batch Alpha and Batch Bravo just come in together. Like, they don't see each other as fellow coaches. They actually see each other as friends, and really, really good friends. Wherein if there is a requirement that is needed to be passed on that month, and they just discuss like, hey, we're not going to do it. Literally the school setting, right? So we come to school and we get more excited to going to school because we have friends. And that's exactly what a sense of community is about. So it's not just about a community where you can get more free stuff and like have more people to talk about. Like, it's not always like that. You have to be better in terms of creating a community. That should also lead me to my next point, which is a sense of community that is not like a prison. One of the mistakes that I have done before is that I went very strict with my old Facebook group, wherein I did not almost allow them to do plenty of things. We also gathered a specific type of people that are just in there to promote things, which is also not good. Well, firstly, if you do not like the people in your community, it's actually your fault for putting out ads that are not in your messaging, for putting out content that is not who you are and you're not in your personality, or you're not showing your real self. So that's somehow my fault. back in the day for putting out ads and just talking about how you can earn 100K months and like, do this. And so we have gathered, not all of them, but we sort of gathered people in the community that are just there to learn and see how other people are doing, try to make money off of that Facebook group. And so it was not really good. And in that sense, I then again put another band-aid solution, which was to sort of create better rules, stricter rules in that. So it didn't become a community, it became a prison. And so there were plenty of factors that went along with that. And so what I did was I created a new Facebook group. So with the people who were disappointed with the old community being a prison, they're not there in the new Facebook group anymore. They try not to. They don't like me anymore, and that's fine. What I really tried to do is that create a Facebook group for the people who are still with us. In that sense, we have to rekindle that relationship, show up plenty, create more challenges that can help them get more motivated, follow up with their progress, so on and so forth, be there when they're asking questions, things like that. So I did not care about the old group anymore. I have a new group now, and so I put all of the efforts and energy on that one. There you have it. Try not to make the same mistake of making sure that your community is like prison, because I know for a fact that there are plenty of things that you do not want to happen in your online course. Being copied, people copying you, people phishing in your community, and that's okay. But try to also think about, if they're going to do that, how long are they going to last, really? Because we're here for the long-term game, and oftentimes the long-term game is all about customer experience. So if there are people that are doing that, well, it's really none of our business. We're just going to try and take on sort of quote unquote revenge by actually becoming really good at what we do and just making sure that we are excellent at anything that we put out. So there you have it. My next one is do updates every 6 months or something. Like what I mentioned earlier, you don't need to put a lot of videos in it, but adding a little bit of freebies, a one page something is awesome, so that they could understand that you are not leaving them behind after they have purchased your online course. You are still in there after they have purchased, and that's what we call the post-sale process. So what makes other online courses different from one another is the post-sale process. And most often, people actually stay and become a loyal follower when you have nurtured them prior to the sale with plenty of things. Like say for example, you have put 70% effort on the pre-sale. And then on the post-sale, you also do the same with the 70% amount of effort. So whatever measures you have done pre-sale should also be done in the post-sale. Next one, specificity of your online course is a must. Another thing that I have regretted is that I created an online course for freelancers talking about marketing, but freelancing is a really huge, wide thing. There are actually skills that you can tackle, plenty of them, some expertise that are just meant to be taught and not discussed. And while it was sort of my niche to create an online course about freelancing that focuses more about marketing, some people would also look for other online courses in skill specifics, right? So something that I could advise for people who are just going through the path of creating an online course, become more specific and answer a very specific question, solve a specific problem. Because if you're not going to be doing that, you're sort of like being a generalist and you're not answering a specific question, well, it's not going to be easy for you to sell, and it's also not going to be easy for your students to finish the whole thing, because the more questions that will arise. So for example, you've created a course about freelancing and talked about marketing, but these people have questions about accounting, for example, and you are not able to answer that because you can only answer marketing questions. So that would also leave your students on a cliffhanger because you have solved one problem for them, but then you're not solving the entire thing, right? So make a specific package for a specific person that would need your help. So specificity in your online course is a must. Ninth one, allow your students to have tangible results. So this goes for worksheets, activities, and anything like that. If you do not get your students in a challenge wherein you are not teaching them to apply something. For example, create plans, write something on your worksheet, have a daily planner, or those tangible results that they would be able to see physically. It's very hard for them to identify that they actually got something out from your online course. And so to have those tangible results present in the way that you are presenting your online course, in the way that you're presenting your lessons is very important. So, one example would be to answer their worksheets. Okay, so give me your worksheet by the end of so on and so forth. I'm going to check it, I'm going to audit it. That's something that is tangible for them. And so they would be able to say that they got something out from your course. So, it's an activity based result rather than a metrics result. Because if you're just promising them the metrics that, hey, you're going to get 100K per month and whatsoever, not everyone is going to hit that at a certain amount of time. But if you're going to say, hey, write something on your worksheet or have a plan for your next discovery call, they're going to write that down, and that in itself is already a result, and it's an activity based, and so they would be able to get that win moment right off the bat. Okay? Last but not least, listen to your students' feedback, but sometimes take it with a grain of salt. So, what am I talking about this? It's important for you to always understand what your students are having a difficulty with. So, like what I did in CRA, people are always talking about the momentum that you need to have in order to start freelancing seems to be very, very difficult. And so, I created a small online course or a mini course about how to get started in freelancing. Link below this video if you want to get into that. That's awesome. So I just created a specific mini course wherein you don't have anything else to do but get your foot at the freelancing industry. Other problems come in later. Okay. And if you want the problems to be solved, where that's the time that you can enroll to Create and Rise Academy, also link in the description. When you do that, it's actually helpful. But if you're also the type of person who just wants to please your students to the best of your ability, wherein whatever they say, you're going to do it. I've done that for many years. It's actually exhausting because I really want to make sure that there is like a best experience that I can give to my students. Whatever they want, I'm going to provide it for them as long as I can provide it. And so I want more skill courses. Boom, skill courses for you. Put it inside the CRA, give you lifetime access. I'm going to give that to you. Awesome. Okay, I want to learn more about taxes. Okay, gets a speaker, goes live, and then the replay will be posted in the members portal. Give you what you need. Awesome. And I've done that for many, many, many years, just trying to please my students. And sometimes it's not good for your mental health because you wouldn't really be able to please them all. Some people would appreciate it, some people wouldn't. And good for the people who have appreciated it, but how is your mental health? How are you sustaining an online course with a lifetime access and you are also not thinking about how you are sustaining who you are as a mentor? At the end of the day, you're the one who owns that online course. You get to call the shots, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? So just remember that your students are not the boss, it's you. You know for a fact that you are knowledgeable about your curriculum, like at the back of your hand, but that doesn't mean that you are supposed to provide everything for them. You are not here to save them, you are here to teach them. And so that one is also something that I've struggled for so many years, and I hope that you're not going to do the same mistake that I did. And so there you have it. 10 things I should have known when I started my online course. I hope that was very, very helpful with you. If you are an online course creator, a freelancer, or someone who just wants to dive into the digital marketing because you find it fascinating how it can actually allow you to live the life that you want, this is the channel for you. If you like that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.